Hey, this is Wyatt from Fresno RB. Today we're getting a preview of Stability Change by the Contemporary Dance Ensemble at the Fresno State University Theater.
The show is called Stability Change. It's a collection of 6 pieces, each choreographed by different choreographers. We have some choreographers from out of town, we have some resident choreographers, and our student choreographer for this year is Abigail.
So for me, I really find a piece of music that I like first, and then I listen to it a million times until I get that in my head. And then it's kind of just playing around in my room, messing around with different movement that I like, and kind of putting it on the dancer, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and I just go from there.
And then you have the whole piece to yourself out of the six.
Yes. So one whole piece I choreographed.
And then is there any sort of like inspiration with the other choreographers, or is it just like mainly yourself?
No, so I choreographed one piece, and then 3 are choreographed by our director, Kenneth Balint, and then we had 2 outside choreographers, Whaley Wang and Angela Rosenkrantz, who also choreographed pieces.
So what's the rehearsal process like? How many hours do you practice in a week?
We usually meet twice a week on Monday and Wednesday, and right now our rehearsal runs for about 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, we do a warm-up, kind of get ready and get our minds into the learning process. And then we usually break up the remaining time to work on separate pieces. Kenneth does a great job of like organizing rehearsals, making sure everyone has time. And we start out the fall semester learning all of the pieces. And then the spring semester is when we kind of get to put them on stage and showcase them and take them to places and perform them.
Is there anything specific you're really excited about for the show?
I'm really excited to present all the hard work that we've put into this show and also um, share the art of dance with the public. One specifically choreographed by Whaley Wang is more about social activism and kind of taking a stand in what you believe in. And the emotion behind it is kind of like frustration and anger, and like I feel like we've all felt that in our lives, like you wanted a change and you can't really get to that. Um, and so I'm excited to perform that and kind of share that with the audience.
And what's your favorite part of performing and being on stage and performing for the community here in Fresno?
I've been dancing for my whole life, and being on stage was always something that made me feel the happiest because I'm so passionate about sharing my love for dance with the community and the people that I love. And so I'm just really excited to get to perform on stage and just share that passion with everyone.
The show that's about to start, we open on Friday the 14th, is a dance repertory show, which just basically means that it's a show of a collection of dance works. And in this context, they're short 10 to 15-minute pieces that are independent statements and represented in movement and choreography.
And so it's the Contemporary Dance Ensemble. What makes it different from other dance groups that we have on campus?
It's academically different. The curriculum is different. It's a class. Contemporary Dance Ensemble is a class, Dance 163, and the curriculum is based on developing artistry in our students, and the culmination of that training is public performances.
So would you say it's more experimental, or it's just the highest class?
A lot of times it is, because sometimes it's not unusual to bring in dancers who only have kind of one mindset about what dance is, and we try to expand that because dance is such an incredibly wide range of possibilities of genres. So a lot of times they are experimenting and collaborating and exploring, and something they don't like usually to do, which is take risks, like what is possible for the human body to try to do. So you kind of have to find ways to present that to develop.
Are any of those risks in this show, you think?
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, a lot of the pieces are collaborative. So, like a choreographer will work with a dancer, and the big reason is the more collaborative it is, and just like anything else, the dancer, starts to have a stake in the outcome, a responsibility, and it's a very empowering thing. And sometimes dancers aren't used to that. They're used to more in line with being told exactly when to do it, and that's it. But a well-rounded dancer really has to be able to do a bunch of things, not just what they're told.
Well, then speaking of collaboration, you have these guest choreographers, right? So what's the process of kind of bringing these multiple choreographers and all the students together to create this show?
The biggest reason is generally they have me, okay, and I'm just one guy. And even though I don't like consider myself a ballet dancer or a modern dancer, or I like to do everything. It's only reasonable to build a well-rounded dancer if they have more than one source of their information. So I try to bring in people under two conditions. One is that they represent something that maybe is more of a weakness with me. One of the pieces featured a lot of contact improv, which is like you improv, you make it up on the fly, but it involves other people. And you have to take risks because sometimes how is that other person going to know what the heck you're doing? You got to pay attention. So you might bring someone in who does something that isn't my strong point. Or there's like something missing developmentally in some of the training of dancers. And sometimes it's always good to hear, like, I'll have like one version trying to explain, but there's another way to explain it. And sometimes dancers don't get this way, but they'll get the guest artist way, because they'll be explaining it slightly different. And then all of a sudden it's like, that's what he means, So it's just, I try to bring in people that will fill in the blanks and be different than just me. So usually, not always, but usually I try to bring in female choreographers because I'm a male. So that they're not getting used to one gender over the other, because they'll show favoritism and they'll learn better or not better. Okay, so and guys are different than, everybody has their own way of going about getting to the end result.
Do you always have these collaborators, or is this a special thing for this show?
We have them when we have the funds to do it. Okay, and we've been lucky the last few years. We've been able to bring in 2 guest artists each time, and it just makes a world of difference to the experience in the course when we have outside people come. I like to think, and I'd like to say that there's a little bit of everything. It'd be really hard not to enjoy at least half the show.